I thought we were reconnecting. He was sweet, flirty, loving, even with deployment around the corner. But then I found out he had a secret wife and a mother who blamed me. So I made sure they both got the truth in bold printed receipts. If you've ever been lied to, blindsided, or blamed for someone else's mess, you're going to love this story. Tap like, hit subscribe, and get ready for a revenge that struck deep into the heart of a fake marriage and made his own mother cry with rage. You ever get that gut feeling that something just isn't right? Yeah. I ignored mine for way too long. My ex and I had broken up. It wasn't some big explosion, more like a slow fade. But then he got stationed out of state and began prepping for deployment. That's when we started talking again. At first it was casual, then flirty. Then it started to feel like we were dating again, messaging late at night, calling, even sending emails that felt intimate. It was all so familiar, comfortable. He talked about his training, asked about my life, reminisced about our time together. And slowly, stupidly, I fell for it. Again. Months passed like that. And when his deployment finally came, I decided to stop by his house, the one he still shared with his mom. I was on okay terms with her and thought, why not leave a small gift and note on the porch? Just a little stay safe token before he left. She wasn't home, but I did notice a new car in the driveway. It had out-of-state plates, but since I knew they had renters, I didn't think much of it. 2 days later, I got a letter. A real, handwritten letter. From his mom. It wasn't a thanks for stopping by kind of letter. No. It was the kind of letter that leaves your hands shaking and your jaw on the floor. She accused me of trying to ruin her son's marriage. That's how I found out he'd gotten married. Yep. After months of flirting, emotional intimacy, and reconnecting, he got married behind my back. And I found out from his mother, in a rage-filled note where she also called me a whore. Why? For sleeping with her son before marriage. The irony? This woman had a shotgun wedding of her own. She was already pregnant when she walked down the aisle. I was stunned, betrayed. But more than anything, I was angry. I hadn't even known he was seeing anyone. No hints. No clues. Not even a casual mention. He pretended I was the only one. All while building a brand new life with another woman. He played me like a violin. And then had the audacity to let his mother attack me for it. That's when I realized, if she and his wife didn't know the truth, maybe it was time they did. I started gathering everything. Every message. Every email. Every text. Phone logs. Screenshots. Timestamps. It wasn't just revenge. It was documentation. I remembered that unfamiliar car I saw in the driveway and decided to drive by the house again. This time the car had writing on the back window. Just married, congrats. His name and her name. Oh, so that's who the mystery guest was. Not only had he gotten married, she had moved in with his mom. I laughed out loud because that meant one thing. Now they all had to live in the mess they made together. So I went full scorched earth. First, I wrote a letter to the new wife. Polite, factual, brutal. I told her everything. How long we'd been talking. What he'd said. What he'd done. How he called me during his training. I included emails, texts, phone logs, every receipt I could find. Then I wrote a separate letter to his mother. I reminded her that during all those months I spoke to her son. Not once did he mention being engaged, let alone married. I told her that she should be ashamed of blaming me, when I had no clue what was really happening. I even threw in a little jab about her shotgun wedding, just to remind her that judgment works both ways. Both letters went to the same house, addressed separately. And yes, I paid extra for signature required delivery. I wanted them to open it immediately. My final message? A single-line email to my ex. You're dead to me. That was it. No context. No drama. Just silence and implication. And then the fun began. White heavy check mark F. Climactic revenge payoff. 1 to 2 minutes. This was before email security got tighter. And since he'd used my laptop before, I still had access to his email account. I logged in. What I saw. Pure, chaotic glory. His wife had read the letter, and she lost it. Email after email, her demanding answers, ripping into him about the lies, the betrayal, the phone calls he made to me during their honeymoon. Apparently, at one point on their honeymoon, he went to get ice and called me. She included that in her email. She knew everything now. Then came a message from his mom. She was furious, but not at me, at him. She said she now had to deal with the fallout under her own roof, that the wife was inconsolable, crying, devastated, locked in the guest room, that she couldn't believe he'd bring that kind of shame and chaos into her house. I watched as he scrambled, desperately emailing back excuses, explanations, half apologies. For months I watched him beg, and all he could do was sit with it, from overseas, alone, while the truth I mailed to his home tore his perfect little fantasy apart from the inside. It was chefes, freaking, quiche. I don't know if they got divorced. Maybe they worked it out. Maybe not. But one thing's for sure. His honeymoon ended the moment my letter arrived. Sometimes karma doesn't knock. It sends receipts, certified mail. If this story made you smile just a little too hard, hit that like button and drop a comment. What would you have done in my place? And make sure you're subscribed for more cold, calculated, and oh so satisfying revenge stories. Because the best karma comes printed and delivered.